How does it play out now with the new format and with the way the thing works? So, give me your hurdles that you have to overcome. How's it break down?
Well, we were fortunate enough to get the number one seed. So Hedges or Musselman and Jefferson, there's only 5 in our section, we'll do a play-in game, and we have the winner.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll be an elimination round. And then the second, and then, of course, Hedgesville will go to Washington. That's an elimination round. So it could, you've got to win that first one to get to the second one. And, of course, you always want to win so you can play on that home floor. So it's going to be a tough road no matter who comes out of here.
We're talking with Dave Rogers, the veteran head basketball coach at Martinsburg High School. Let me ask you about a particular player, and we'll note that you've had D1 kids come through your program. So, again, with the base of experience that you have, you know what guys need to be successful at the D1 level, from Marcellus to Kevin Pittsnoggle, among others. Talk to me about Donte Grantham. We're familiar with that Grantham as a last name. I know he's a kid that West Virginia has been looking at. Talk to me a little bit about him.
Dante's 6'7", can shoot the three, can put the ball on the floor. Great young man. Works very, very hard every day. He's going to make someone a nice player. We played St. James last night. We played Middleburg a week ago. What a ball game. We played St. James last night. And in our gym last night was the head coach and the assistant from Illinois, the head coach from Temple, the assistant from Xavier, Georgetown. We had a prep school here, had Fort Union Military Prep here, had Duquesne here. And basically because of Donte, and we call him Obi, but because we can't really pronounce his last name, he's a 6'8", 6'9" from St. James. That's really recruited by. I know he's talked to him last night, and Illinois was here, but he's really in there with Maryland and Indiana. But what a great showcase! And of course, we've had the West Virginia hugs with those guys who've been here with us before. So it's been a great time. But we think Donte can play at that next level, and we know. I think we know where we'd like for him to go, and we hope it's going to happen.
Let me ask you a little bit more about him. So it sounds, from what I hear, as you said, 6'7", can shoot it, can put it on the floor. It sounds as though he's got bounce, and it sounds as though he would be a guy that, we're seeing a lot of wings in the Big 12 Conference that can put it on the floor and get their shot and also stroke their shot. Last night he didn't have a great game, but Shane Southwell would be a guy from Kansas State, or Will Clyburn from Iowa State, those types of those body swing men that can score. You see him growing into that?
Yeah, I do. He's going to have to put some weight on it. He knows that, and most players that leave high school, when they get on that training table in that college weight program, it happens. And so we just think that his future is ahead of him. And again, he's worked very, very hard to get to this point. And sometimes, I told him the other night, sometimes he's a little too unselfish. He needs to get a little more selfish, because he is a good shooter and he is a good player. And, as a coach, you want certain players taking those certain shots at a particular time.
Coach, having seen him play with you all, you have him playing inside a good bit just because of your lineup, but what position do you ultimately, can he get thick enough to be a power forward, or is he a true wing? Is he even a two guard? What do you envision him at the college level?
Well, I see him at the 3 spot, but, he could be a two guard if he gets a little quicker at the foot speed. You have to be at the D1 level. You've got tremendous athletes with great strength. His strength will improve. We do work a lot on foot speed, and he's getting better at that. But just the fact that he can handle the ball and get to the hole, and he is a good rebounder. He'll go to the hole, and he'll rebound for us. He has to. And that's another thing with high school. You look how a player plays for you in high school, knowing that he may not have to play that way at the next level. But for us, he had to do that. I know with Kevin Pittsnoggle, Coach Beeline had him stepping out shooting the three a lot, and he's 6'10", 6'11" for us, and we want him to get on the glass and do a lot of rebounding. So, it's going to change with the program that he goes to.
Coach, you mentioned all the other interest out there for Grantham right now, but if WVU were to offer it, would it be fair to say that he would accept that offer, or is that still kind of up in the air right now?
No, I don't know what he's going to say. I can only pick up what he talks about and the gut feeling. My gut feeling is if they do, hopefully we'll see him in a Mountaineer uniform.
One last thing for you about him. We'll let you go, and I appreciate you stepping aside from practice here this evening. Give me your take on his competitiveness. In other words, we saw Marcellus Basie as a competitor. I mean, he would get down in there and eat the wood for you. Where's this kid's heart? Where's his head?
No, he really understands the game. I think you're comparing two different players there, and I don't know why it is, but your smallest players seem to be the gut players that take the charges, that grab the floor, and I think that's how they grew up, because if they don't play that way, they're not going to be successful, or maybe a taller player can get away with not doing that. But, we keep preaching to them also things that you get away with in high school, you're not going to get away with at the next level because of who you're going to be playing against. So, no, he is very competitive. He'll rally the troops. He wants to win. He understands what it takes to win. And we're at the point right now. We're ready for that second season. We have to win 6 ball games.
Dave, Tony mentioned Marcellus Basie. I know he's on your bench right now. Do you have to put a seatbelt on him? Watching him, he's just chewing through the bench to jump up and do something.
I want to tell you what, he's still a competitor. We were very fortunate. I've got 2 great coaches with me, Bruce Fowler, who played for me and then went on and he coached with me, and then was the head coach at James Wood High School in Winchester, Virginia, and decided to come back to Bulldog Land. He's been with me for a long while. And then Marcellus, we talked to him 2 or 3 years ago about joining our staff, and he had a business on the side that he wasn't capable of doing that to leave that business, but we finally got him in our troops this year. So, I've got 2 great assistants. They're very knowledgeable. They played in our program, so they know what we're about, and he brings a lot to the table, and he's very competitive, very fiery, and I tell him every now and then, be careful getting off that bench. Just don't get us a tee, because he is so competitive, and he wants to win. And he does a great job with our players. Our players love him and respect him, and as they do Coach Fowler, and that's what makes a program.